What's up, guys? Aaron from Spartacore Training here, and man, am I excited for the information I'm about to drop on your face. January 16th through February 20th, we are going to offer an Eldoa fitness class that is going to be brought to you by no other than Mike Salemi. Who is Mike Salemi, and why should you care about listening to him? I will tell you why. Mike has been a strength and conditioning coach for 15 years. He's also a world champion powerlifter. He also happens to be a kettlebell sport competitor who has achieved the ranking of Master of Sport. Now, if that all wasn't enough, he also just so happens to be a Czech practitioner and a holistic lifestyle coach. So when this guy speaks, it's probably a good idea to listen because he's probably going to teach you a thing or two about a thing or two. And guess what else? I also brought him here today just so that he can talk to you about what the class has to offer and how it could benefit you. Now, because I hate it when people say, without further ado, I'm not going to say it. You just said it, stupid. Jesus, fine, YouTube police. Roll the tape.
So the class we're going to be offering at Spartacore, it will be a 6-week series, and the whole idea around the core series is called Eldoa Fitness. So if you're not familiar with Eldoa is essentially a postural correction technique that was developed by a French osteopath named Dr. Guy Voyer. And essentially there's a specific posture and a specific technique that can help increase the space between any chosen joint that we want in the body. So it can be tremendous for improving circulation, for improving joint mechanics, for reducing pain. Some of the most common areas of pain that we see today are low back pain, right? So there's an amazing Eldoa for L5-S1, which is at the very, very base of the spine. So in just as little as 1 minute per posture, you can start getting, especially if you practice it regularly, long-term changes in how you feel, look, feel, and perform. And it's been probably the most powerful tool that I've used in addition to my training to help me kind of combat not only the stresses of training, but just also of just daily gravity as a whole.
Yeah, cool. And I've been through a little bit of this stuff. You were kind enough to take us through a couple different Eldoas a while back. And I think one of the coolest things I noticed about it is how immediately you can see a change and a benefit from it, whereas with traditional stretching, you normally prescribe, do this every day for a month or two and you might see some improvement, whereas with this, it's really a night and day difference of seeing some change and some improvement for the better after you've done just a couple of these. What's the science behind what's actually going on with an Eldoa when we're doing it?
So if I recall correctly, don't quote me, but if I recall correctly, when Dr. Guy Voyer was coming up with this kind of postural system or these postural techniques, when he was working at a hospital, he had the students that were either interning or coming in. He would put them all under x-rays and put them in the different hand positions with the different postures so he could actually see the chosen joints being increased in space. So whether it was for disc bulges or herniations, anything like that, he was able to actually see what was the exact posture that he was putting in and what was the direct effect via x-ray. So it's very, very specific. Now, that's not to say, everyone's going to be different, right? Everyone presents something different, and as much as I can over the 6 weeks, I'm going to try and give as many people one-on-one attention as possible because the goal is to be, yes, as specific as possible, but also to acknowledge the person in front of us. So it's, Dr. Guy Voyer is an osteopath. He's also a medical doctor. He's also an orthopedic. I believe he also has a PhD in education and possibly in nutrition as well. So he's quite established from an education perspective. And it's just, this is only one portion of his education that I really want to share because there's not too many people offering this right now. It's by no means a new technique, but at least in the Bay Area, there's I think only one of my friends who offers something like this in Oakland, but in this area it's still very new. So
Right.
that's why I wanted to offer a 6-week series, because people should notice an immediate change directly after the first few postures. But committing to 6 weeks, my hope and my goal and my dream is that people really walk out taller, with less pain, and just improving how they walk and train or move and train on a daily basis.
Right. What can people expect from the course itself?
So the course we're calling it Eldoa Fitness, so it won't be just like a classic Eldoa course. I'll be incorporating a few other things as well. It goes hand in hand with a stretching technique series called myofascial stretching.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially it will be, think of just being in specific postures like you might be, let's say, in yoga, but the factors of progression or the way I'll be cueing will be very specific based off of the areas that I'd like to open up. So we're going to focus primarily on the spine.
Okay.
So we're going to focus a little bit, and I'll structure it so in the beginning we're going to mainly focus on the mid-back region or the thoracic spine. So we're going to open up, lift the chest, then we're going to also focus on the lower back, and then towards the end of the class series we'll focus on really bringing back and up the head and neck. So
Okay.
pretty much it's at the spine, and then if there's specific requests or specific areas that I can help people with, then we can also go into the level of the ribs, or we can do other parts of the bodies, but primarily the spine. So opening that up and really getting the spine to move well, because that's where it all starts.
Right. Who do you think could really benefit from this class, and who's the class targeting?
So classically, Eldoas have been, I would say, targeted to more of the populations of people who are in pain currently.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're experiencing any pain, provided you're cleared for, let's say, some exercise, would love to have you, but also it moves well beyond pain, because as an athlete, like I don't have any pain right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I use it every single day, sometimes twice a day, to kind of undo the patterns that I train in. So
Right.
whether you're jujitsu, whether you're a weightlifter, no matter what it is, it can apply to anyone, whether you're in pain or not. So it's not just for people in pain or who have achy joints, anything like that. It's really for anyone.
All right, guys. So join us January 16th for the Eldoa fitness class here at Spartacore Training. We will see you then. We are out.